Good morning, all the students. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
I'll request all the students to please start up your cameras, video streaming, if possible. All the students, it will make interaction effective. You might have been understood the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication. So go through this non-verbal communication. It is important to have a streaming, video streaming. So please, students, you can start the web cameras. Good morning, Nikhil. Good. Jyotirmay is always with webcam. It's good to see you, Jyotirmay. Anish, good. Good, Saket. Other students should also come forward. Good, Bharati. Seems to be always a good video. Good to see everyone. Good, Salman. Fine. Please, all the students, other students also, come forward and start your web cameras. Good, Moni. Very good, Vishnu. Praneeth and Shashivardhan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. I said latest updated section F list
Yes,
in
sir.
the morning. Few days back, I sent the list. It was consisting of 80 students. Now Vishnu has added. So with that 89 strength we are having for section F. There is a purpose with which I send these details to you, Shashivardhana and Penny. Student, please understand. How many students are there? Good, good. So almost 50 students I'm finding. Fine. These things you need to be communicated to other students also. Students, please understand this is being a practical course. But okay, before going for that, let me first of all communicate with all the students. Are you understanding, students? Are you understanding what we are discussing till last two sessions? Any suggestions, any updates, any feedback? So that I can modify accordingly and will have a discussion and will communicate. Any suggestion, students? Nikhil, good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. We are able to, at least I am able to understand, sir. I have no suggestions.
Okay, good, good, good. Other students, please come forward. If anything is there, please sort it out at the early stage. Because onwards we'll be having practical, we need more time. And I have communicated you the course material. I have communicated with this attendance policies. Okay. Saket, please mute. You can continue with your video streaming, but mute yourself. We have shared among ourselves the attendance policies. There is a specific reason behind that. Please understand it, students. I'm expecting students to have utmost participation in class discussion and active participation in class. That's the reason I'm not conducting the oral attendance and like meanwhile what happens if I'm at the starting I'm conducting the attendance roll call is the few students may be joining bit late because of XYZ reason. In between also the same problem. So rather of focusing on that, I rely on the auto-generated attendance. I wanted to rely on the auto-generated attendance by the Google Sheet data. And already I communicated, we are having 1 hour 15 minutes of session. Out of that, at least students should be there in the class Google Meet for 1 hour minimum. Only then the students will be entitled to claim attendance for the specific session. If the student is not joining, it means less than 1 hour for 40 minutes, for 30 minutes, or for 15 seconds, or for 2-3 minutes. All the data or the details I'm getting. So such students will not entitle for the attendance because it is presumed that they will be claiming or they will be joining for attendance purpose only. And the 15-minute leverage is being given for the reason because of technical reasons students may not be in position to or sometimes it may be possible because of technical glitches. They may be not in position to join or some problems. That's the reason. So don't take it as an advantage. Use it as an leverage. With this, now we'll come to the point. Any feedback, any suggestions, students? Still around 70 students are there. 65 plus. Students, any suggestion, any feedback? Quickly. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm putting a link within the chat box. This is the Google form link. One typical question I have asked. I wanted to understand whether how many students has understood the concept. Please use that Google link and we'll continue. It will be active for the session being. It is one question only. I wanted to understand how many students are capable to understand. Please communicate to other students also to follow this link. Seshivardhana and Pranil, please see that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. Now, as I told you that this is being a practical course, so we have to rely on the practical. The SAP, rather of calling it as an SAP, you can say it as an always SAP. HANA S4. This is the enterprise system which we are utilizing for practical purpose. And yes, Anjali.
Sir, Kaushik is trying to join, but it's asking permission to join.
I didn't get any of these things, any pop-up or any command which is requesting for joining. Ask
Okay,
him
sir,
to be, please, Anjali, do one thing. Ask him to
Yes,
be
sir.
log out all the devices and join through.
He already
Sir,
joined, sir.
actually.
Yes,
Okay,
Pramod.
sir.
Yeah, he
Pramod?
already joined, sir.
Okay, he's there, Anjali. He's there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. So now please understand, students, I have given one link. During discussions, please use that link and answer the question so that I can also understand. Once again, I'm sending the same link so that I can also understand students are understanding the concept. This is the main philosophy on which our business or this business process integration course is running or is going on. So now we are discussing about this SAP HANA S4 module, which is a practical with which we need to go. And for the purpose, we are having the subscription to the SAP University Alliance. The organization, SAP organization, is providing the university alliances through which they are providing this course to the students, the material and what way the practical need to go, the hands-on through these modules, the different models. We'll discuss that. Time being, just keep in mind, if anyone is aware about these things, it's fine, well and good. If not aware, just keep in mind these modules and this jargon. We'll clear those during the course of action whenever those terminologies, whenever we are interacting with such things. I hope you're understanding, students. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Meanwhile, during this discussion, you should respond through that link to the question which is posted through the Google form. This is one question only. Now, student, for this SAP practical or SAP practical, we are having for our section, we are having the 74 license with us. Now, our class strength is almost 90. It is 89 students, but we are having the 70 license. So now the role of Seshivardhana and Pranil. Are you hearing me, both the CRs and all the students? Good. Now already I have shared the list of those 89 students with you. Your role is, and students please respond to the questions, queries by the CRs or whatever they are asking. This is my sincere request to all the students. Now the thing is that out of these 70 licenses, those 4 licenses I'll be keeping with me. The reason behind is that because certain times if any license is not working because of XYZ reason, and we're not in position to sort it out that issue, those 4 licenses we can use as a spare one. Is that clear? I hope I'm
Yes, sir.
clear. Good.
Yes, sir.
Now the thing is that out of this 70 license, 50 license will be distributing to individual students. and 20 license will be distributed as a peer license. Like a few students is having understanding, like a group of 2. Suppose we can say both the CRs is having good understanding. I'm giving bit example. And they can use the same license key with their IDs and passwords. They can share it among themselves. Please understand, the license ID should not be shared with each other. But the paired license only can be shared among the peer, within the group of 2 only. So what we are planning, Shashivardhana and Pranil, please understand, the 50 license will be distributed to the individual students and 20 license will be distributed to the 40 students as a peer, as a group of 2 students. They can spare and they can use that. And through them, we are going to have our practicals. All the modules like practical related to how the sales and distribution function is going to be carried out in SAP, how the materials planning, materials management, how the financial accounting, financial planning is going to be conducted, controlling function, then HR module, then project management module, or like such human capital module. So these different models will practice as on being on the basis. Is that clear, students? I hope I'm clear with this.
Yes.
Good, good.
Yes,
so
sir.
now, my request to all the students, please share your details. What details? Among yourself with mutual understanding. Only 50 licenses we are having individually. If you are interested in having a peer sharing, so who are there who can join as a peer? Please communicate these details with the CRs, Pranil and Shashivardhana. So what they will do, they will pair such students. Now your role, Shashivardhana and Pranil, your role is that you can segregate these individual 50 students and who are those 40 students who wanted to share as a peer license. Is that clear?
Yes.
Shashivardhana and Pranil.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Pranil. Good. Where is the Pranil? Pranil?
He has lost his connection, sir. He'll join.
Okay, okay, fine. Please communicate these details to him also. Meanwhile, once again, I have shared that Google form link through which you need to be record your answer so that I can understand whether the students are in position to understand the philosophy or not. That's the only. It is an what is the ES system and what are the benefits of ES system? That question is there. It is a long answer. You can type in brief, no issue. How many wordings and how it is not a constant. So please go with that. This is the important aspect. I hope I am clear with this. And now, by the end of the day, I'm expecting this assignment or this task should be completed, so that in tomorrow's class, we'll be in position to distribute or we'll go ahead with that. Is that clear? Can you do that, students? All the students, including the CRs? The exercise?
Yes, sir.
Good, good.
Yes, sir.
Good. So all students, please respond. As a peer, if you want to respond, if you want to share the peer license, please give your consent as a peer, and individually also we are going to have that. Good, Shejal, good Kaushal. Thank you very much. Now, with this, we're going to discuss or we'll continue with the today's discussion. These are all about the details which I wanted to share. Now, anything from your side we can share. Otherwise, we'll continue with the class discussion from where we left the discussion during last class. So what are the contents which were discussed during last class? Can you communicate? Anyone? What are the things which are discussed,
Sir,
students?
we discussed that case ERP implementation at BPCL.
Yes, we discussed about the case, and through the case, various philosophies also we talk about that. So what are the briefings? But before proceeding that, did you receive the material, students? Last 2 classes material which I shared in the form of PDF.
Yes.
Good.
So, we got it.
Good. I'm sharing that material now onwards with the CRs, if possible, with all the students. Please go through that in the group also. It will be available, and I'll individually send to all the students also. And if possible, I'll upload it in the student information system also. From there also, if possible, you can download. But now, I think we have not yet received any guidelines related to the update and related to the functionality of sharing these details. So, based on the guidance, based on the instructions, we'll proceed. Is that clear? Students, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. So now let me know the other things which are discussed, the philosophies and concepts. Now, Sejal has communicated, we were talking about the case, the Bharat Petroleum Corporation, India, and how they succeeded in implementing the ERP during 2001. Am I right? 2000 and 2001. What are the various philosophies which we went through that while discussing the case? What are the various aspects we have discussed?
So we basically discussed what were the difficulties that BPCL were facing and why did they implement ERP in their system basically, because they wanted to use the proper utilization of resources and proper planning of the workflows. That was one of the reasons why BPCL had done, and what were the advantages on which basis BPCL took the risk of implementing ERP, sir, because there were even risk involved, whether the proper implementation will happen or not.
Good, Priyal. Thank you. Now, please understand, students, we spoke about that, how this ERP implementation will go about, how the IT initiatives early were the only taking care of the functional aspects of the businesses, department specific, like functional specific, you can say that the functional specific structure. And later on, the integration of those functional specific structures where came in exist, and with that initiative, like customer satisfaction project, QSAS, that has been continued as a project by the BPCL. And with that initiative, how initially they have communicated, they have interlinked within the organizational structure, that is to be called as an intra-organizational establishment of communication networks. And once after establishing that, they focus on the various plants, various subsidiaries to be communicated, to interlink, and have the exchange of functionality, have the exchange of information, and sharing of resources become possible. And that's what the customer satisfaction project, with which that ERP implementation were initiated, and that was the main success point in the BPCL. Am I right, students?
Yes.
Good. So now, with this, I'll be sharing my screen, where we'll be discussing about the further part, and where we'll be looking after that how the, are you able to see screen, students?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, please. Is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now, see, during the last class, we spoke about these aspects. Is my screen properly visible, students?
Sir, are you showing anything? I mean,
So we can see
Sir,
the
screen
Google
only
Meet screen.
we are seeing.
One by one. One by one. What is the problem?
So we can only see the Google Meet screen, not the presentation.
Okay. Let because I am using the. Let me check first. Wait a minute. Because what happens, I'm using a app where I can share the Google Meet details and this link also. That is the reason. Okay, so during last class, we were talking about those ERP implementation, business processes, and how the different enterprise systems are going to be used, and what are the roles, what are the responsibilities they are carrying it out, and what are the basic philosophies related to that. Am I right, students?
Yes, sir. Three-tier enterprise system.
Yes, the last concept which we are talking about is the three-tier architecture. So what is that architecture? Can anyone communicate? Any example of three-tier architecture?
The three-tier architecture, you gave the example of the banking system,
Good.
where sir, there is a main database, and from that it comes to application layer, and from that it goes to individual layer, sir.
Very good, very good. So please understand, students, for this banking systems, now you can see being a three-tier system, the thing was that the main hardware part where the details, the data, like customer, the various product, those details were stored with the utmost security by using the firewalls, fire safety mechanisms, which we spoke about that. After that comes as a business application, where we can say that using the various modules, what that ERP is having, what that typical system is having, banking system is having, like the we can say that the liability department, or which we can say that the loan department, saving account department, fixed deposit department, they are separately handling or looking after the various products. And the basic data they are sharing. Like suppose I'm being a customer, having a saving account, can be applied for a business loan also, can be applied for a home loan also, or can be applied for the fixed deposit or investments, or you can say that the bonds also I can purchase, having the gold bonds or debentures or like such. I can have my own portfolio, but the customer data is same, and that is I have saved. That is the system is saving, that system is taking care, and after that we have a business applications, and above than that we'll have the direct applications where the users can directly use. Like I being a customer of saving account, I can have my transactions to be carried out. The same way being a home loan customer, I can access my details, I can operate it. Now one window concept has came. One window concept is that through one login ID, I can manage my savings, I can manage my investments, I can manage my loans, everything I can do. Am I understandable, students?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now what is this exactly? When we'll be talking about these philosophies, here the main thing is that I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Hope it is properly visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's properly visible.
Good, because what happens, I'm using the sharing screen, this application. Using that application, I can concentrate on Google Meet data also, and I can concentrate on your presentation also. That is the reason bit conflict were there early. Now, we're coming to the point. I'll come to that. Now, this is what we're talking about, the 3-tier architecture. Is it visible properly, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Now, see here, this is what the exactly data where we are having, or we can say that it is a data where the customer details is being saved. And now with these details, the customer details or its specific, all the related information is being saved. That is what the database server, or the business related details also is being saved here. And now this comes as an application layer. Typically we can say it as a business applications. Like we can have the saving details, the customers is being maintained on a separate server, separate applications server. Then loan is being maintained through the separate applications, or we can say that the corporate customers is being taken care through the separate business applications, or we can say that the internal business is being taken care with the different, like connecting the all branches for the administration purpose. Are you understanding what I'm explaining, students?
So can you just zoom a bit?
Okay, wait.
Properly.
Is it fine?
Yes, sir, it's fine now.
Good. So now here okay. So this is what exactly we're having as a business application, and using this business application, we can carry out our various business processes. And afterwards, it comes as this application layer. Now here the different clients are there. I being a saving account holder, I can carry out my own transactions. The same way, I being a loan applier, or I'm being a loan customer, I can access those details. Or similarly, being an employee, I can carry out my transactions with my login details, or internal organization transactions. So this is what the presentation layer or applications in 3-tier architecture. This is a typical structures which we need to be carried out. The thing is that here, to add on certain application, to add on certain, you can say that the client, we need to have certain basic changes to be carried out within the business process, business applications. And that's what. Now, if I bound all these, like first layer, second layer, third layer, as a whole system, it has been called as a 3-tier client server architecture, or it has been called as an orchestration.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, students? Orchestration. Now, if I wanted to update, like suppose I'm adding certain application here, one more application to look after the valuable corporate customers as a separate valuable customers, and that need to be taken care of through the different application servers. Now here, if I'm adding that, I need to have bit changes to be carried out within this structure. Am I right, students? I'm rearranging the tools and techniques. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Sir, can you once repeat this?
I'm adding a separate application here. What the application is? The application is going to be look after the corporate valuable customers separately. They will be holding the loan amount more than 50 crore rupees for my bank. So such business customers I'm dealing separately through separate application server. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now here, what I'm doing, I need to be realign these things. I need to have bit modifications to be done within the structure. So that is to be called as a redesigning, restructuring, retooling. Certain tools I need to be added to support these clients. Is it clear? Students? Okay.
So we will bring modification in the existing architecture, right?
That is what the modification means. What we are doing exactly. That's what I'm saying. Same way. It's simple. But in ERP terminology, I'm explaining this. In simplicity, we are updating. What is the updation? You know that. Please understand, students. Now I'll come to the. This is what the philosophy. I hope you have understood this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now I'm re-orchestrating the things. Re-orchestration. What I did, re-engineer, restructure, retooling, and again I bound the system. Now, please understand, this increases my efforts. Being a technician, being a manager, being an industry, or being an organization, being company, being industry. Now, to avoid these things, around before 2000, the new concept came in exist, and that's been called as a service-oriented architecture. Now, we'll not get into the detailed history of the service-oriented architecture. What exactly it means, we'll understand. Now, as I told you that our efforts has increased, our cost has increased. To reduce that, this philosophy is very effective. It can reduce the cost, it can reduce the complexity, and it will increase the scalability. Scalability is that now here within this structure, if I wanted to increase the capacity of the application servers, I need to be look after how much this database holding capacity is, the data holding capacity. If it is not permitting, I will not be in position to increase its strength. Am I right, students? Students?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. Please respond so that also I can understand your understanding and your active. Now, and that's the reason this service-oriented architecture comes. What is this architecture? It is simple. Please understand, students. It will remove these barriers of technical glitches to update, to modify with the rearranging and restructuring. So how it will done? Like you know that you are using your smartphone, students. If you need to access certain application, what you will do? If you are having an iPhone, the Apple supported applications you can carry it out. If you are having the Google supported operating system, other smartphones, Google supported, you can use the Apple Store. And through that Apple Store, you can access, you can download, you can upload, you can update. So this is here, please understand. Now, once your software or any application which is need to be upgraded, it will intimate you the updates are available and you can update it easily. The same way the service-oriented architecture, what it will do, it will remove those barriers of technical updations and it will give a suitable solution through which this updation become possible and updation become easier. and that's what the reduction of complexity will be there. And the scalability is that it can increase the capacity of the users without affecting the speed. Is that clear? Is that clear, students?
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, in 2001, now I'll come to this slide. In 2001, this is what exactly typical application or service-oriented architecture what the SAP has utilized. Before 2003, SAP were utilizing the three-tier architecture like SAP, SAP, R1, R2, and R3. Real-time third version of SAP, and that is what the three-tier architecture. R1 is one-tier architecture, R2 is two-tier architecture, R3 is three-tier architecture. But now, because it takes time, it increases the cost, it increases the effect, and it has adverse effect on the scalability, and that's the reason independency to bring into the functionality of SAP, this application platform were introduced, and this has been called as a NateWeaver, SAP NateWeaver, and this is nothing but a typical operating system, SAP operating system, in which the integration with the information data with the complex functions has been carried it out, and it will provide a platform which can make the user, who are the users of the SAP? Who are the users of SAP, students?
Their company's management.
Exactly, companies directly can say that. Small scale industries, middle scale industry, large scale industries. Am I right, students?
Yes, sir.
And with that, amongst them, few companies are using a specific modules, few companies are using more modules, few companies are utilizing the flexible architecture rather of utilizing the standard modules. They rely on the flexible modules. So all that, it becomes possible to easily implement, to easily update, to easily and effectively without increasing the cost. This becomes possible because of this service-oriented architecture, which has been called as a SAP NateWeaver application server application platform that were introduced in 2003. Is it clear? Did you understand what is means by the?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What? Good, thank you. What it mean by the three-tier architecture? What it mean by the service-oriented architecture? When the SAP has been shifted to the service-oriented architecture, what was the benefit? Why they have shifted? All these terminologies with the technicals and simplicity I explained. If anyone is having any doubt, you can ask. Did you understand, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here you can see the web service become possible with the service-oriented architecture. Now, this enterprise systems has to be integrated with another enterprise systems. Just now we spoke about that. Intra functionality and inter-functionality. Intra means within the organization, the systems need to be taken care. They need to have the exchange of data, exchange of information. And once one department need to be integrated with other department integrated to be integrated with another department, and like such, one branch need to be integrated with other branch, one subsidiary need to be integrated with others, subsidiary need to be integrated with the facility location need to be integrated with the parent organizations. So this way, in organizational communication and intra-organizational communication. Intra is nothing but within the organization, and inter means in between the organization. Or here we can say that the supplier need to be communicated with the customers, and customers need to be communicated with the main retailers or distributors, or through the direct customers. Now please understand the different terminologies, what exactly it means. So this service-oriented architecture gives flexibility to the ERP systems for exchanging of the resources in a cost-effective, easiest and scalable way. Hope it is clear, students.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes,
Students? Good. So now the multiple applications is being communicated or used or shared using these web services. and without changing the underlying applications. That's what very important. I explained that without changing the basic structure. And that's the reason it is going to be provide a flexible environment in which directly whatever the changes you want to make it without changing the basic structure. Basic structures keep as it is. After that, one layer is to be added, and whatever the service you want to render through that environment, it is possible to be rendered, it is possible to be enhanced, it is possible to be exchanged or update. That's the reason the service-oriented architecture is very popular. And nowadays, you know that students, all these Amazon, and because of that, you know that these big data applications. Did you study those? Big data application in MIS? Students, anyone? Please
No,
respond. Okay, no issue, no issue. But you are using the applications. Now, what is that? Amazon, IBM. These are the leading companies who are providing the service-oriented architecture. It means they are providing their services to the third parties. Last week, the news was that some companies, like some government departments from United States, some big gains companies were unable to be carried out their services because I forget exactly the name of the company who were providing the services as being third party to these companies, to these government offices. They were failed to be manage their business process, and that's the reason some glitch were there. That's the reason those services were hampered. Now, in plain way, we can say that, in simple way, we can say that this online e-commerce business using Flipkart, using Amazon, like such, is been, or the banking applications, or these online transactions. You know that, students, India is the world's first country where maximum number of online transactions or highest number of online transactions were carried out. We have created that record, and that is possible only because of the service-oriented architecture what the companies is adopting, and through that we are in position to enhance our existing services. These are the benefits we are getting. Now, I hope it is clear with this. Did you understand the philosophy, students?
Yes.
Good, good. Thank you. Other students?
Yes, sir.
Please, all the students, we actively participate within the class discussion. Don't sit either. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So see here, the ERP systems are the complex systems which is primarily focused on the intra-company processes, intercompany and intra-company. And with that, they will be looking after the operations, what we are performing within the organization, and those functions need to be integrated with the cross-functional businesses. So what are those cross-functional businesses? We're having the various departments, the production, we're having the HR capital management, we are having the finance, accounting, controlling, we are having the sales distribution, like such. So what are these ERP modules available with us? Can you see these, students?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible properly? You can see here human capital. Among human capital,
Yes, sir.
good. Among human capital, we are having the different sub-modules, different functionalities. Talent management, workforce deployment, and we are having the travel management. Similarly, we are having the financial, production department, procurement, operations as our sales and customers, operations as our manufacturing, and enterprise assets management. Whatever the assets we are having within the organization, we can say that the procurement and construction, we're having the inventories, we're having the maintenance operations, we're having the decommissions and disposals, like waste management, we're having the asset analytics, we're having the real estate, like such. All the different models available with us, and the cross-functional like quality management, environmental health, or project management, those kinds of things are going to be taken care with the help of these ERP models. Is it visible, students? I hope you are understanding what these models and how these ERP systems are helping to be carried out the different functions within the organization, and within and inter-organization and intra-organization. Is it clear?
Yes.
If I say that we have implemented the human capital module, and with that only we are managing our organization, not other modules we have implemented. So now we are having the other our own custom systems, and we are integrating this. Now SAP onwards, when 2003 it came, it has that capability to be interact with other flexible modules also. If we're having our own custom, like suppose I'm being a company, I'm having a financial module with me, own financial module, or financial module from the, we can say that, suppose I'm having the HR module from PeopleSoft, financial module from the SAP, and JD Edward, we are having the operation management. And these three integration, can it be possible? Early in 2000 or before 2000, it was not possible. It was like, so that many companies were failing to integrate. But 2000 onwards, because of this service-oriented architecture, it becomes possible. And that time, this inter-department and intra-department, inter-company and intra-company, ERP systems and real-time ERP systems become possible, functionality become possible. Is it clear? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now see, these are the different modules what the ERPs are having. We're having the production planning, it's been called as a PP, then we're having the material management, we're having self-distribution, plant maintenance, we're having the project systems or project management. Now sometimes it may be said as a PM. So what terminologies you are referring, how it is there, don't get confused. Project management, project systems, one and the same. Quality management we're having, just now we spoke about that, it is inter-department functionality. It is not an intra-department. It is not as a responsibility of only manufacturing as TQM Six Sigma philosophies. It is responsibility of each and every individuals who are participating within the business process. That's what the quality management. Then we're having the financial accounting. It has been called as an FI. We're having the management accounting and controlling. So now these two modules can be club up, FICO, or like such different two modules are also to be club up. It has been called as an FICO. That is financial accounting and controlling. Or controlling module, CO is being called as. Controlling module means accounting module. Financial accounting is for financial statement purpose, and management accounting is for looking after the asset as a financial resource, how effectively you are utilizing it, its monitoring and its controlling. That is accounting standards. HR capital management or human resource and business intelligence, that is what the analytics capabilities has been incorporated with the ERP systems and SAP HANA, SAP HANA, HANA, that is high speed analytical business application, which is having the analytic capabilities to be incorporated. We'll discuss that during the introduction part, but just keep in mind SAP ERP models, what are the various models? Is it clear what are the various ERP models available with us for SAP understanding? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good. So now, as you know that here we have spoke about that. Similarly, we are having the different supply chain management, customer relationship management, supply relationship management. These are the different examples of enterprise systems or enterprise resource systems. So now with this here, this is the important figure. Can you see this, students? How is it visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Good. How the systems are interacting. Now see, this is the supplier organization. I am being a supplier of the company. I can integrate with this way. The supplier is interacting through the customer relationship management. Now, how this customer relationship management for this company supplier, this company, now this is 1, please understand student, this is 2 and this is 3. Now, for this supplier being organization, are you understanding, students?
Yes, sir.
Supplier being organization, company 2 is customer. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
That's what through CRM for this is a intra-organization ERP for this organization 1. Now they are interacting to the other company inter-organization communication. This is being taken care with this interface. Now here for the company 2, the supplier is a supplier relationship management. Through that module they are interacting, and for this supplier 1 as a company 1, this company 2 is a customer. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah, so don't get jumbled or confused. Please understand the terminology. Through the different company views, what and how they are utilizing. For this company 1, the product life cycle management is the what suppliers are preparing, that is the product. Now how the life cycle is being managed. They are having their own model. Then for them they are also having some suppliers. These suppliers can be managed through these models, and their entire resource planning mechanism is here. Now for the supplier one, company one, this customer relationship is a model through which they are communicating with this company two. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. And like such, they are having their own supply chain management model. So this integration is being called as an ERP, and this is a inter-department or inter-organization, intra-organization, and this company one and company two, if they are interacting with each other, that has been called as an inter-organization communication. Similarly, we are having the customer. Now these are the customers for this company. For this company. Are you understanding, students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now this customer is, again, we can say that it may be, we are talking about the B2B communication. Please understand, students. Business to business communication. It is not a B2C. Do you know the difference between B2B and B2C?
Business to business and business to customer.
Yes. So this model typically explains B2B communication, and in SAP also we are talking that B2B communication. Please understand. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Good. So now this customer 3 is again a company, and they are interacting with this company using the supplier relationship management. And for this company 2, this is the customer, so they can integrate or interact with this customer 3 as a company model using CRM, while customer 3 company is being a customer of this company 2 is interacting with the supplier relationship management. Now you know that, student. What are the basic differences of functionalities of CRM, SRM, or SCM, supply chain management? We'll not get into that detail, but you must understand what are these for the company. Did you understand, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty, any problem within this?
Sir, can you
One by Yes.
briefly explain them, sir?
Briefly, that we are talking about the business to business communication. Now in a business to business communication, if suppose suppose what is that? I'll just give our example. Suppose we being an EFI is a company. This is a second company. We are having our own module, ERP model, own setup. Now for examination purpose, if I am hiring a services of third party, now for the third party company who are providing me as an examination handling portal facility to me for that company. Now for that company who is providing me that facility of conducting our students examination, ICFI is a customer, and for me they are the supplier. Am I right?
Right, sir.
So this is structure explained here. So that integration is being taken care with the help of supplier relationship management, customer relationship management, and I being a ICFI organization taking care of my own structure. Own structure, what is that I'm having, or I means ICFI business school or ICFI organization is having the different department. We're having the operation, we're having the HR, we're having the examination, we're having the administration, and students has to be integrated with all these examination, administration, all the departments. Am I right?
Right, sir.
So this ICFI is having this structure, and you can integrate within that being a part of this organization. But at the same time, ICFI is integrating with the other organizations, and that to be as an if that other organization is a customer of ICFI, we can integrate with customer relationship management. If the other organization is supplier to me, like just now I gave example of that, the third party application suppliers, like examination modules or examination they are conducting, but proctoring, software and software facility they are providing, and invigilation and other aspects we are going to take care. So that is for them, we are the customer, and for us they are the suppliers. Am I right? Being service organization. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir. Yes.
If we being a manufacturer, then whatever the raw material required, whatever the intermediate products, semi-finished products will require. So the company who are providing me those such things will be suppliers to me, and I being the manufacturing, I being the company is integrating with them using this supplier relationship management, and the supplier is being the customer of me as a company. They can integrate with me using the CRM, customer relationship management, from their angle. Is it clear?
Yes.
Good. So now that's what application platform. I have explained this. What is the application platform? This has been introduced. What is the need of this application platform? NetWeaver is as an independent service-oriented architecture. Where why it has been introduced? Already I told you that what are the limitations of FitCare architecture, and because of that, now please understand, students, incorporation of that high-speed analytical application. The SAP is having almost more than 60% market share within the ERP market, and because of incorporation of this HANA high-speed analytical application S4, they have kept themselves 10 years ahead of their competitors, because the service-oriented architecture, it saves their cost, it makes implementation possible, and it makes integration with other models possible effectively. And we'll discuss what and how it has been, and this application model is providing that facility. Is it clear, students? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes,
So now we'll good. So now here this has been, we can see this NetWeaver, SAP NetWeaver is an operating system for the company, and by this already I told that the SAP NetWeaver orchestrates the communication among the applications. This is very important. The communication across the applications, transportation of the master data and technical information through these applications become easier, and again the updation, and we can say that the modifications were avoided because of this incorporation of NetWeaver in 2003. That is the benefit they got. Is it clear?
Sir.
Students, all the students, are you there?
Yes.
All students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any query? Students, any query?
No, sir.
Good. So now we'll go to the next philosophy. The different types of data which is used within this SAP or enterprise resource systems. Now this data is being divided into basically in these three types. What are the three types? Organizational data, master data, and transactional data. In simplicity, we can say that the organizational data is the data, like the data which is required for organization's functions. Like if you are taking example of our ICFAR or IBS, what are the courses, what are the businesses, and how the structure is there, the different departments and their reporting authority. This has been called as an organizational data. In simplicity, I am explaining. I'll get into the details. Please understand. Organizational data is that how the organization functions, how many directors, who are there, how many departments, how the departments were represented, how the reporting of the departments within themselves, how the departments were reported to the directors, how the departments were reported to the registrars or to the vice chancellor, chancellors, or to the management. This typical structure is called as an organizational data. Is that clear? I'll get into the details, but in simplicity, in bird view, you can understand this. Am I right, students? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Now, the master data. Master data is the data which is required for the organization and which is not going to be changed. What is that? BBA program, MBA program, BA program. So these are the programs which are not going to be changed. What are the various courses it is having? Am I right, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the master data is the data which is required for the basic functionality of the business process, business activities, and which is not going to be changed, which is required for the processing purpose. Certain details is automatically created within the business process, and by putting their code, by putting their name, that can be called for the business process, business application. Like you might have been visited to the restaurants, while you are ordering food, the code is being put up, like code 01 or BUS 01. It means the business lunch. If I am putting the code BUS 01, the business launch. What is to be incorporated in business launch? It is fixed. The data is fixed and that is required. Now while entering the data, I'll only enter the code BUS 01. It means our BUS LUN 01. It means business launch 1, business launch 2, business launch 3. Are you understanding, students?
Yes, sir.
So that
Yeah.
has been called as a master data. Now, same way, the transactional data. Now, what is the transactional data? The transactional data is the data which is generated through the business transactions. Whatever business activity I am carrying it out, like I have sold certain items today, or being a customer, I have visited to the restaurant, I had a food with my friends, with my family, with my relatives, and I pay bill and I paid. I got a bill. The bill is generated. Now, against that bill, the general ledger entries has been made. How much cash, if cash has come, if the customer paid using the cards, debit, credit, whatever it may be, the account updation should be there. So what transaction had happened or what transaction is being carried out, based on that the data is being generated, and such data is being called as a transactional data. Is it clear? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now here we'll discuss in detail with the help of our company. What our company? Global Business Corporation. Now here we are having this Global Business Incorporation enterprise structure. How this organization is? This is now organization structure. This is the enterprise GBI Global. It is having.
Sir, can you explain master data once again, please?
Master data is the data which is created within the company and which is required for our frequent use within the business process. The example already I gave is in case of our, if you are visiting a restaurant, the food items, the menus which is required, or in case of our company, what finished goods, what semi-finished goods we are selling, their list, their data we are creating, that is master data. Or I being an employee, what is my designation? What is my pay structure? All the details has been created. And now if I have been assigned to the MBA program, which course I am taking, so my master data, employee Jaipal Doble is an employee, is created in master data. MBA program, he has been assigned with the BPI. So BPI is again master data. HR is an again master data. Jaipal Doble is aligned. And now the course is going on. Now the attendance, evaluation, everything is going to be taken care of with the help of that respective faculties and section of students with business process integration application. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, clear. Thank you.
Okay. And now transaction is that, suppose I have marked today's attendance. Now this is not as an ERP systems, but as a part of that. Or we can say it as an ERP systems, which is not that much integration, but now it depends on the organizations up to what level the integration is being taken. Suppose I wanted everything is going to be taken care. If I join Google Meet link, automatically after conducting the session, my attendance need to be updated. Students who have joined with their login details, with their updates, their attendance should be automatically updated. So the mechanism is, if I have integrated in such a way that has been again called as up to what level you want your business process to be integrated with the enterprise resource planning. Is it clear? Did you understand, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Now we come to the global business integration. Sorry, global business incorporation. That is the company with which we are discussing about this SAP application, SAP practical. The global business incorporation is having two subsidiaries, as US based and German based. Now here it can be said as a company. This is company 1 and this is company 2 and this is enterprise, and it has been called as a client. Now why it has been client? Please understand, this is a client for SAP. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yes,
So,
Yes, sir.
this is a client, it's been enterprise, it has the company subsidiaries, US based and German based. Now in US again they are having the various plants, distribution plants. We're having the storage location. We're having the again distribution plants. Here we're having the manufacturing plant. We're having here the subsidiaries. Are you understanding what I am saying, students? What it mean by the company, what it mean by the plant, what it mean by the enterprise, I explained, and how it has been incorporated in SAP also. So please understand these philosophies. Is it clear?
yes, sir.
So now here it has been again explained. Now the same structure is being given. Enterprise, these are the companies and these are the plants. The code is been given, client code from the SAP. And within the company, US based company is having company code CC001. German based company is having a company code, and that is for this client as an enterprise for the SAP. Am I understandable, students?
Yes, sir.
The same way plant is nothing but the distribution center, storage location, manufacturing location, or like such, where the facilities is being provided to the business process. Am I right? Students, these are the basic terminologies. It is very important. You must understand. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Again, I'm requesting all the students. Only I see few students have started their cameras. Bharti is there and then Harshita is there. Rest, please keep your cameras on. Even the Pawan is there. Saket is there. Sashivadna, all the other students, please start and keep it on. Please, I hope you have understood this concept, students.
Yes, sir.
Good. So now with this again, I have made it very simple. See here, is it visible, students? I'll enlarge bit this slide. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So what are the SAP terminologies with respect to this structure, business structure? As already I told you that global business GBI, that is global business incorporation. This has been called as an enterprise. It has been called as a client. And now US German-based subsidiaries or companies is been called as a company code or as a companies. Now the plant, storage location, and we are having it has been called as a plant. And like such, we are having the sales organizations and sales distribution through which we are carrying out our sales operation. It's been called as a sales organizations. And these are also to be said as a division, where the department specific or division specific or business areas, where the manufacturing activities is going on, where the distribution is going on, where the or we can say that the HR handling or like such functions, it has been called as a division, or it has been also called as a storage locations. Is it clear in SAP what is this client, what is the company code, what is the plant, what is the sales organization, what is the division, and what is the storage location? With respect to this figure, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please try and collide this business enterprise structure with this SAP enterprise structure, so that you can understand how the SAP is functioning, SAP is functioning. The SAP should provide the facility to incorporate all the GBI processes like what they are having. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now again we'll with the help of this, can you see students here?
Yes, sir.
Now the organization data, master data, and transaction data with respect to the company, I have brought it here. Say the company code is organization data, plant code, plant is an organization data, the way organization structures. Now see how it is structurized. So that is called as an organization structure. Storage location is an organization data. Distribution channel is an organization data. Like such, purchasing organization is as an organization data. Is that clear? What is the organization data? I explained it briefly, but in terms of SAP, what it means.
Yes.
Now here in master data, as I gave example, person, Jaipal Doble has been a professor in IBS. He's been as an HR master data. Is that clear, students?
Sir.
The course, the program, like such, the material, customer, vendor, work center, that has been called as work center. Is that where we are going to be provide the facility to carry out the different work. It's been also called as a master data. Our Miami distribution center is a work center, is a master data. Vendor who is supplying the material, the semi-finished good, that is a vendor, is a master data. We can consider it as the master data. Like such, we are having the customer. Hope it is clear. What is organization data? What is master data?
Yes, sir.
Good. Other students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Good. And with that also we are having, good, thank you. With that, the transaction data, already I told that the purchase order, invoice, quotation, sales order, transportation, or daily attendance of the HRs, or we can say that any updates from the suppliers is being called as related to the business process is being called as a transactional data or transactions, business transactions. So these are all organization data. What is meant by the organization plant, company code, the plant, the notes type of things are given. Master data, already I explained what it means exactly. And here, already I told that the general data, how it is being used, the controlling aspect, financial details, the general entries, ledger entries, already I told that again. If I done the transactions, with the transactions, wherever data has been reflected, and if I want during the transactions, the data is to be automatically picked. Suppose I am being a sales manager, I have given the order or purchase order, or I am giving the quotation. So those details should be reflected, and the financial details should be reflected after purchasing done and delivery of the goods. The area specific data, sales, purchase, plants has been also called as a master data. So here again we are having the different master data, how it is being used. Further details I have given with the notes. Hope it is clear. Did you understand, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Again, the data is being grouped as a process data, material data, and organization data. In a process, whatever the data is required, that has been clubbed up as a process, and that's what we have discussed, the flat organization structure. Rather of having a department specific function, department specific structurization, organization has built up around the processes. So the grouping of data as per the process, which department has to play what role and how they need to be contributed, that's been defined as a process. That's again we can say that the data is being grouped based on the processes, based on the material, based on the organization elements, what and how the organization is functioning. Like suppose I'm saying the Miami distribution center has sold out number of bikes as 1,000 bikes to the, or they have done specific deal. So whatever the organizations, the Miami organizations, Miami plant they have done, that is logged down to their name. So that has been also called as, that has been named through that plant. That has been, we can say that got logged through their login IDs. So such data is also to be called as a master data, where the plant location, plant name is being master data. And whatever the transaction they did is being logged as a transaction data. So here we are having the master data basics. Already I told that. What are the master data? Basic data is being consist, sales data, sales related. What is the finished goods? What are the semi-finished goods which we are going to sell? The basic data, employee details, program details, course details. Am I right, students?
Yes, sir.
Financial accounting data, that is also to be called as a master data. Management accounting data, plant storage data, warehouse, it is also to be called as a warehouse management, WM. But that is separately if I am having the warehouse management module. Like such, material requirement planning data, purchasing data, all this is being called as a master data, where the details which are not going to be changed, but that is the basic details with which we are proceeding our business processes is being called as a master data. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, whatever this material we are utilizing, broadly we have categorized that material into raw material, that is raw material, semi-finished goods, finished goods, trading goods. These are the 4 types, and we can find also the numerous other types, but this is being as how we are categorizing, like material, process, production, sales. Based on that, we can categorize these goods. Now, what are these raw material? What is the raw material required for business process that has been categorized as under this raw material type? Semi-finished goods, or we can start the semi-processed goods. Like here, we are having the production material, which is used the same material. Now, see here, in a one branch, the same semi-finished good is being understood by the different name. In other, it may be understood by different name. Or we are having the 2 different goods in the same plants. So please understand the terminologies how we are going to be used in different organizations by the different clients and by the different companies. Now, for a company 1, students, are you understanding?
Sir, can you again explain HALAB, HALAB?
Now, HALAB, it means is specifically a name code is given for a semi-finished good. It is HALAB means not as a specific terminologies. Now, this terminology we are utilizing in a SAP as one of the semi-finished good, nothing else. Is it clear?
Okay.
HALAB, it doesn't mean that a specific terminology is there. It is a code we have given to semi-finished good in our business GBI company as a semi-finished good. Is that clear?
Yes,
This is another semi-finished good. Like such, we are having the finished goods are 2 bikes which we are preparing. The premium bike, or we can say that the off-road bikes, like such. And like such, the goods which we are going to sell to the customers. The trading goods, the goods which we are going to be trade. What are those? Without additional processing, certain goods we are selling it out. Apart from this finished goods. So such goods we can club it as a trading goods, which we are trading. Certain times, some material which we need to be trade apart from this finished goods. So that we are going to be have it is being called as a trading goods. And now these are generally 4 categories. But this 5th category, suppose I am clubbing up 2 materials with the sale process. So here, rather of calling it as a finished goods or semi-finished goods or trading good, I can say it as a sales good. Under the sales, I am clubbing it up. And that's what this numerous other types of categories there. But basically, we are having these 4 types only. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So see here, within our GBI company, we are having this SAP material. What is the raw material we are utilizing? We are having the gears, tubes, wheels, because this GBI, the Global Bike Incorporation, is a bike where we'll require this all material. Relay gears, frame, kits as a seat kit, handlebars, paddle assembly chain, bracket kit, warranty documents, packaging. These are the raw materials. Semi-finished goods, wheel assembly. We're having the finished goods. We're having the deluxe touring bike. We're having the professional touring bike. We're having the main standard off-road bikes and women's standard off-road bike. These are the finished goods we're having. Trading goods, we're having the elbow pads, we're having the knee pads, we're having the off-road helmet, we're having the road helmets, we're having the repair kit, ear pumps, water bottle kit, the first aid kit, and t-shirts. These are the trading goods. Apart from these finished goods, we're having these trading goods. With the bike, with the bicycles, we are selling these items also. The accessories. Got it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is us now. See a different company codes. Just now we have discussed that HALB and PRP. In one company it is been called as an HALB, but in other it is been called as an PRP. Semi-finished goods are different company names also. The same organization, but in a different company, the same products may be understood with the different names for their benefits, for their processing purpose. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So now different plants. What it mean by the plant? What it mean by the plant? Client. Now again in retail or wholesale, different sales. Now if I'm going to have business to business communication, only wholesale. Retail, then I'll go with the retail versus wholesale sales distribution. So this is all about the basic structures and how it is built. Now I think time is up. We should stop here. This company structures and how this structure is supporting with the different data, that we're going to discuss into the next class. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so good. I hope everyone has answered the question which is given in the chat. The link which is given in the chat box. Once again, I am giving the same. Please answer that question. And if anyone is having any doubt, any problem, you can ask. Otherwise, you are free to leave the class. We are done with today's discussion. So, can anyone just brief what are the things we have discussed in today's class? Who will communicate the content which we have discussed today?
So first we have discussed about the three-tier architecture, then we have discussed about the service-oriented architecture and its different functionalities, and then we have come to the various kind of data types like organizational data, master data and transaction data, and we discussed about their various definitions of those data and how citing different examples and all.
Right.
Sir,
Company
as well
structure.
as inter
Yes.
and SAPNet Weaver, and before 2003, what was?
Good. The SAPNet Weaver as a service-oriented architecture, and apart from that, we spoke about that the global by incorporation business structure and how it has been incorporated in ERP systems as a SAP, SAP enterprise GPI organization structure with the different terminologies. Hope you have understood all this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. You are free to leave the class. If you don't have a doubt, anyone is having query or doubt, you can ask. We are free to discuss. Thank you.
Sir, the SAP software will be using licensed versions. No?
Thank you. Yes, it is there. They are providing license to us. License application we are using.
Okay, sir.
Good.
Sir?
Thank you. Yes, tell me, Nikhil.
Sir, we are using HALB for semi-finished goods, no, sir? You said it differs from company to company, no?
Yes.
So, because our semi-finished goods is one other company's raw material, they are using another name?
What happens now? See, up to what level the company want integration. I'll give a simple way. Suppose, for me, I'm conducting a course. Now, we being integrated as an whole organization, as an IBS. But suppose in a department wise, suppose I'm having my own structure, department structure, operation and IT, and economics is having different structure. Now, suppose this business process integration course is there. I'll be calling it. Now, I'm not going to be look after the functionality what the economics department is carrying it out. I'm looking after my own functionality. So there I can say this business process integration is BPI. But for there, what they'll do, they'll call it by different name. Now, at an organization level, it creates a glitch. There, what I'm not going to be look after that. What name they are calling, how they are calling. Only I need whatever the courses Nikhil has applied and how he has scored the marks. The integration and that need to be carried out. But now, if I want the overall integration to be done, so there, I should have a common name for the same course where the IBS operation department and IBS economics department need to be carried it out. But now we don't have the integration up to the level. Only I'm concerned with the how much financial, yes, how much score you have scored in typical one course, how much you have scored in typical two scores, and only I'm concerned with that how much credit course Nikhil has studied and how much marks he has scored, and based on that whether he is liable to give the degree or not. So at a higher level, what I'll do, I'll only integrate the marks and how much courses he or she has studied. But now, if I wanted to be incorporated, this is not possible because what you have studied, it needs to be reflected in a transcript. So there, the name should be the same because the courses has to be integrated also. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But when I'm not integrating the courses, I'm not integrating the product. Suppose I'm having now Miami plant is having the different bike and the US German branch is having different bike. The semi-finished goods were using the same, the frame.
Frame,
But
yes, sir.
just frame. But now for my plant, I call it as a frame 1. They may be calling it as a cycle frame rather of calling frame 1. It may
Okay.
possible. You got my idea clear? Because nothing to do them with this, because they are not exchanging the data based on that. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
They are not exchanging that same thing among themselves.
Hmm.
But when they are calling that frame from some, suppose the third party is supplying the frame to them. If it comes to my as a US based company, I will call it as a frame 1 received to me 100 quantities. But in German, they will call it as a frame 1 cycle, frame 1's what one can say that the bike frame 1 received or bike frame received 100 quantities to or 1000 quantities. Got my idea? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it may be, it is not that it is same, it should be same or it may be, but it may how, it may be, that's what.
Okay, sir.
Got it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Welcome.
Sir, do I have to just collect their names, or do I have to collect?